How did a medieval document become the cornerstone of freedom and democracy as we know it today? Let's wind the clock back to 13th century England, a place of turmoil, ruled by a monarch with an iron fist, King John. His arbitrary rule had caused an uproar among his barons, leading to a fierce conflict. These barons, driven by a desperate need for justice, challenged the king's absolute power. They demanded a Charter of Rights, a document that would limit the king's authority and protect their privileges. Their demands were not unheard. After intense negotiations at a meadow known as Runnymede, a revolutionary document began to take shape. This was not merely a parchment of paper, but a promise of justice, a declaration of human rights, a charter of freedom. This was the Magna Carta, a revolutionary document that dared to challenge the absolute power of a king, and in doing so, laid the foundation for democracy. Thus, in the year 1215, the Magna Carta was born. But what was in this revolutionary document that changed the course of history? The Magna Carta, Latin for Great Charter, was more than just a piece of parchment. It was a groundbreaking manifesto that enshrined the principles of liberty and justice. Let's delve into some of its key clauses that have echoed through the ages. One of the most influential provisions was Clause 39. It declared that no free man could be imprisoned, outlawed, or exiled without a lawful judgment of his peers or by the law of the land. This was a radical departure from the absolute power of the monarchy. It laid the groundwork for the concept of habeas corpus, a cornerstone of modern legal systems that protects individuals from unlawful detention. Another significant clause, Clause 40, stated that justice could not be sold, denied, or delayed. This was a direct challenge to the corrupt practices of the time, where justice was often a commodity for the highest bidder. It enshrined the principle that everyone, regardless of status or wealth, had a right to fair and timely justice. Clause 61, also known as the Security Clause, was another game-changer. It established a council of 25 barons who could overrule the king's decisions if they violated the provisions of the charter. This was a rudimentary form of checks and balances, a precursor to the separation of powers in modern democracies. But the Magna Carta was not just about curbing the power of the king. It also addressed economic rights, such as the regulation of feudal payments and protection of property rights. These clauses established the principle that rulers could not impose taxes without the consent of the governed, a concept that would later inspire the American Revolution. The Magna Carta was revolutionary because it asserted that the king was not above the law, and that individual rights were not gifts from the monarch, but inherent and inalienable. It was a bold proclamation that power should be accountable, justice should be equitable, and freedom should be inviolable. The Magna Carta wasn't just a document, it was a declaration of freedom, a promise of justice. So, how did the Magna Carta survive the test of time and tumultuous changes in governance? This is the question that brings us to the heart of our journey today. The Magna Carta was not always hailed as the democratic cornerstone it is now. In the centuries following its inception, the document faced numerous challenges, from political upheavals to outright attempts at nullification. The Magna Carta was annulled by Pope Innocent III just 10 weeks after its creation, and King John himself tried to disregard its provisions. Yet the Magna Carta persisted, its principles tested and adapted to fit the changing times. During the 17th century, when England was in the throes of the Civil War, the Magna Carta was invoked as a symbol of liberty against the tyranny of absolute monarchy. The document was used as a rallying cry for the rule of law and the rights of individuals, even when those in power sought to suppress them. The Magna Carta was no stranger to adaptation either. Its principles were molded to fit the needs of different eras, proving its relevance time and again. Take the American Revolution, for instance. The founding fathers of the United States drew upon the Magna Carta's principles of liberty and justice to draft the American Constitution, adapting its ideals to a new context. However, the Magna Carta wasn't just adapted, it was also upheld. Despite numerous attempts to undermine it, the document's principles remained steadfast. The Magna Carta continues to serve as a beacon of democratic values, reminding us of the importance of the rule of law and individual rights. The story of the Magna Carta is a testament to the resilience of democratic principles. It shows us that even when faced with adversity, the ideals of liberty and justice can endure. The Magna Carta's journey through the centuries is a testament to this endurance, a story of survival against the odds. Even in the face of adversity, the Magna Carta proved resilient, its principles standing tall. This resilience is a testament to the indomitable spirit of democracy, a spirit that continues to inspire us even today. But how does a document from the 13th century influence our modern world? This question leads us to the remarkable legacy of the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta was not just a document of its time, it was a beacon that lit the path for future generations, guiding the formation of democratic principles and legal systems across the globe. Its influence reaches far beyond the shores of England, permeating the very fabric of societies worldwide. Take, for instance, the United States Constitution. The Founding Fathers, in their quest to establish a nation built on liberty and justice, looked to the Magna Carta for inspiration. The concept of habeas corpus, the right not to be imprisoned without a fair trial, echoes the Magna Carta's commitment to the rule of law. This principle, first penned in the meadows of Runnymede, now sits at the heart of the American judicial system. Similarly, the Magna Carta's influence extends to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Adopted by the United Nations in the aftermath of World War II, this document enshrines the basic rights and freedoms to which all humans are entitled. Among these are principles first outlined in the Magna Carta: equality before the law, freedom from arbitrary arrest, and the right to a fair trial. But the Magna Carta's legacy is not just found in documents and declarations. It lives in the hearts and minds of those who strive for justice and equality. It resonates in the voice of every individual who stands up against tyranny, who champions the rule of law, who dares to demand their rights. The Magna Carta, therefore, is not just a parchment of promises made 8 centuries ago. It is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to seek justice and fairness. It is the blueprint for our democratic institutions, the cornerstone of our legal systems, the very foundation upon which our societies are built. The Magna Carta, therefore, isn't just a historical relic, it's the backbone of our democratic world. So, what does the Magna Carta mean to us today? In a world where democratic principles and human rights are more critical than ever, the Magna Carta's echo resonates far and wide. This medieval document, signed in a meadow at Runnymede, has grown to become a cornerstone of the liberties we cherish in the 21st century. The Magna Carta, translated as the Great Charter, was more than just a peace treaty between a king and his rebellious barons. It was the first spark that ignited the long journey towards modern democracy. It asserted that no one, not even the king, was above the law. This revolutionary idea, born over 8 centuries ago, continues to shape political landscapes around the world. In the United States, the Magna Carta's influence is evident in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. It inspired the Founding Fathers to create a system where the law is supreme and all citizens have the right to a fair trial. Across the pond, in the United Kingdom, the Magna Carta's principles are embodied in the unwritten British Constitution, ensuring that the rule of law prevails. But the Magna Carta's reach extends beyond national borders. It was a key influence in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted by the United Nations in 1948. Its principles of fairness, justice, and freedom have become universal values, championed by nations and individuals alike. However, the Magna Carta is not just a historical relic to be admired from afar. It's a living legacy that continues to inform our understanding of democracy and human rights. It reminds us of the power of the written word, the importance of holding leaders accountable, and the enduring quest for freedom and equality. In today's world, where these principles are constantly being tested, the Magna Carta stands as a beacon of hope. It challenges us to uphold these values, to fight for our rights, and to strive for a world where justice and liberty are not just ideals, but realities. The Magna Carta remains a living legacy, a testament to our unyielding quest for freedom and equality. Now, knowing the journey and impact of the Magna Carta, what does it inspire in you? Ponder upon the immense significance of this medieval parchment. Think about its profound influence not only on the lives of those in the 13th century, but also on our lives today. Reflect on how its principles have become the bedrock of our democratic societies, the rule of law, and the protection of individual liberties. Imagine a world without the Magna Carta. Would we have the same understanding and appreciation of freedom and democracy? Would we be living in the same world of justice and human rights? We invite you to consider these questions. Reflect on the enduring legacy of the Magna Carta and how its spirit continues to echo in our modern world. Consider the power of a single document, the Magna Carta, in shaping the world as we know it. Share your thoughts and join us again for more explorations into our vibrant history.